Hello YouTube, welcome back to Mine Mogul and the Age of Steel update. When last we left off, we had just finished doing a little bit of work on our gold area, our gold producing area, and had made that wonderful little spine right there. That is producing our gold everything, as well as some junk rods. Now, for this episode, I think I'm going to go around and I'm going to... well, I've got a few places I need to go and fix up. Need to go add these heavy miners to, anyways. The copper and the gold areas, more specifically. So that's what we're going to start off this episode doing. But after that, we're going to be... well, honestly, probably just upgrading quite a few things on the base here. I think that's all we're really going to be doing is just upgrading a few things. Nothing serious, nothing fancy. We're just doing some upgrading, that's all. So, let's see. Put you there. Nope. I put something like so. Yes. Okay, cool. Good. Do that. And then, honestly speaking here, I probably could do something like this, do something like that, turn you, send you on your merry little way, move the light pole, oh well, you should just be able to go up with that, okay, down, back down, go back down. How about back down here? Yes, back there. Okay, and then, whew. There. Alrighty. Now we should be able to turn you on. And then we will have a whole bunch more copper and stuff. There. Alright. Part 1 is finished. I did do a little bit of work on the base of the factory. Nothing too serious, it's just over here you might have remembered that there was a giant pile of stuff. I just upgraded to these roller sorters because I'm fairly certain they are less likely to be backed up. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they can't be backed up. I'm just saying because of how big their mouth thing is, I think that it should be far less likely that they become, well, messed up. And there was something in here that yes. I was gonna grab more plates. Okay, so that's that copper extra sorted, but we still have the gold to do. And there you are. Okay, so come over here, and the that quest to get the clusters, really easy to do. It was really easy to handle. All I really did was literally just use these two used this gold and the copper to make clusters, and then I just ran them over to this line right over here. The one that takes our steel and copper junk over there. Was safe as all heck. The coal, on the other hand, that was the troublesome one. That was the problem child. That one was just a bit more difficult to deal with. Wasn't impossible to deal with, just slightly more difficult to deal with. Luckily, we were able to handle it, but it still was quite the annoyance. Alrighty, and now we should be able to turn this on, and now we will have more gold. And there. Alright, so all of our current mining areas, save for one, has been sorted. That other mining area is obviously the steel up here. And honestly, I'm thinking that's been a bit overdue to be upgraded. Yeah, this place has been a little bit overdue to get a slight upgrade. So, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to upgrade it. Now, the real problem with this is the fact that I'm going to need to try to figure out how to get everything sorted. How are we doing for... Oh, just barely not. Well, that's an easy one to fix. That's an easy one to fix. Just get those sorted. Grab you. Grab you. Yeah. Run the guys up here. Now, come on, don't be difficult. There. Alright. And this should work out just fine. Okay, now I just need to go and get these to actually be on the ticket, which should not be too difficult. There. That's all sorted. We can turn them on. Yep, and that'll do that. Clusters will come out. They'll get crushed. They'll be added to the coal line. That'll add a little bit more coal to the furnace, because I have a feeling that the coal only really goes down, that the heat goes down more when the thing's actually, working. Of course, I could be wrong. Have been before. Not gonna act like I know everything. I wish I did know everything. That would be handy. But I do not, unfortunately. So, how are we going to do this? Well, while I'm thinking about this, actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea if I added another one, I don't think. We'll see how one works, and then we'll decide whether or not we need to add a second one. But I will be getting rid of this purely because I might need the space. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? Same with these. I'm getting rid of these. I might need the space. Okay. So if we are going to go and have this stuff rolling, I'm going to need a sorter. And we'll use one of these big ones just to be on the safe side. And we are going to want to somehow get the crusher going over here somehow. There we go. There. And if we do decide to go with another one, we can just basically add a smart splitter here and just split it off there. Though we might not do that, because then we'd have to go and add another coal thing, and that would just be a problem and a half. But what we do have right now is we need to go over like so and so. Okay. And then all the gemstones and geodes will come out here. Alright, so we've got that sorted. So we've got a little bit of a better place to go. But now, how are we going to do this so we get all this stuff over here? Well, I think we're going to crush the stuff down here. We're going to have the crusher down here. Right there-ish. And there. Nope, not there-ish. There-ish. Okay, there. Much better. Okay, there. Much better. Okay, so. Now, we just need to somehow get all the crushed stuff up this way. I mean, all the clusters up this way, which should not actually be that terribly bad to try to figure out. Actually, in fact, I'm pretty sure I've already figured out how I'm going to do it. Okay, so. Actually, if anything, I'm probably going to have to go down, aren't I? Yes, I am. Go down a little bit. Normally, you're going up to get to the crusher. I mean, yeah, the cluster crusher, whatever. This time, though, not so much. Alrighty. Where'd I put my... There you are. we go. We can turn you back on while I finish doodling over here. And there. Alrighty. Good. And now I should be able to turn these 3 on. And we should be having an insane amount of iron coming out of here now. After all, these are equivalent to 6 of these auto miners. And that's at the low end. 6 is on the low end. Realistically speaking here, I think it'd be more along the lines of maybe between 7 and 8. 7 and 8 of these ordinary miners, which means right now this line has 9 auto miners feeding into it. Now, could I be wrong? Yeah, I could be. Maybe it's, closer to 7 in total, but still, that's quite a bit of iron that's going to be going into this thing now. And that's not even counting that one over there, which we really aren't. It's only producing half iron every now and again. Half iron, half coal, so not really counting it. Over here is the real moneymaker. And I was a little bit worried when I started thinking about 6 or 7 that it was going to start overloading the system, but no, we're doing very good. How are we doing on the heat? Actually, just fine. Remember, we only have to keep it in the green. We just have to keep it in the green, so that's actually going really, really well. And we're not overloading the furnace either, which I'm actually happily shocked by. I thought we were gonna really overload this thing, but oh well, yeah. It going flat out with all the iron, we're all good. Okay, good on iron, good on coal, good on everything. Alright. And how are we doing for a decent amount of coals coming off the shaker line? Alright, so we are actually really, really good. So, before we actually call it quits for the day, I am going to go and I'm going to get rid of these molds because, well, we got a better version. That is to say, hey, cool. That is to say that we got the double ingot mold. So, we are going to, well, get them. Let's see, we have the copper, we have the gold, and we have the steel. So I'm going to need a total of 6. A total of 6 of these. And of course they do that. Alrighty, and we will of course turn everything off. So that way I can actually go and replace them. And we'll kind of go the long way just to give it a little extra time. Okay, and here we are. And we'll do the copper first. Copper should be pretty quick to empty out. Yes, I thought so. Only a bit of shock. Huh. Hey, you two. Stop your progress. You two are coming back with me. Now, if you toss an ingot into here... Okay. Yeah, if you tossed an ingot in there, it breaks up. But tossing those in there... Well... Oh well. Alright. Steel should have cleared up by now. I think. Yes, sure looks that way. Come on, get on in there. There we go. Alright, now we go on over to the gold. And I honestly think that if this works like I think it should, this is going to basically double our ingot production. Now, am I absolutely for sure that... Do I know for sure that this is how it's going to work? And that it for sure is going to be producing us so much ingots? No, I don't know that. But I can guess. Alrighty. Nope, that wasn't enough yet. Alrighty. I want to go and see what happens when one of them gets filled up. I think the iron's gonna be my best bet. Well, steel, sorry. Steel's gonna be my best bet. Alright, how are you gonna look when you finally get filled up? Oh! Okay, so it's gonna take more resources to do... It's going to make double, yes. But it's going to take more resources to do so. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense, honestly. That makes sense. All we're doing here is more or less just saving us a bit of time, I think. Huh, interesting. So, yeah, we're making basically double the ingots we were making. Alright, cool. Well, I assume the gold and the copper aren't really going to be aren't going to be going very fast because of this. But when they do toss them out, oh, I'm actually a little bit shocked. Didn't think it would be going that fast. Well, works for me, I guess. Oh well. Yeah, works for me, I guess. Is the gold doing decently fast? Not really. I do want to say it's worth it, honestly speaking. Just from what I saw from the steel, it's worth it. Now, whether or not it's actually worth it in terms of materials, that I can't say. I want to say, just from a gut feeling, that it feels like it is. That it definitely feels like it's a good trade. It feels like we're getting more materials out of all of this, is what I want to say. Are we actually getting more materials? I have no idea. But it feels like it, so that's good enough for me. Alrighty. Well, that is actually kind of what all I want to do today. Just wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of updating, and a little bit of work. I think when we come back next episode, we are going to be working on the copper and gold areas that are in this main cavern here. We unlocked them a long time ago. In fact, the copper area over here was the very first area that I unlocked. Yeah, this one right here. There's nothing but these normal auto miner areas. Just these three that are, two of them half coal, half copper, the other one pure copper. And then the other one is this gold area up here that if I remember correctly, I was rushing around looking for to get more gold. Yeah, over here. This area right here. We're also going to develop this area, which I also believe is just auto miners. Yes, normal auto miners, no heavy auto miners. So when you guys come back, I think I'll have already cleared this out of all this nonsense, all of this stuff, and we'll just work on putting together all of the mines and stuff. Next episode. Next episode. Not this episode. Next episode. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And like, subscribe, and sayonara.